submitting her research report to ICSSR as postdoctoral fellow, enrolled in December 2019. Earlier, Dr. Gauri has worked as faculty at NIR DPR and got exposure on research in rural development policies. Prior to that, she worked at various degree and postgraduate colleges in state of Telangana. Together, Dr. Gauri is having a total work experience of 12 years in teaching and research. As far as publications are concerned, there are 8 research articles in peer-reviewed journals, few in UGC Care listed, as well as 2 chapters in books of IGI Global publications. Apart from these, Dr. Gauri has presented papers at a couple of national and international seminars and conferences. So with this, I would like to invite our expert speaker, Dr. K. Gauri Vasantha, to start the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Professor Anjali Gupta, ma'am. Thank you very much, VC sir, and all the respected panelists for having given me this opportunity to present one of my research papers in this session. Actually, I am in the process of submitting my postdoctoral report, and this paper is carved out of that same report, and my research in postdoctoral is related to convergence of self-help groups with Panchayati Raj institutions. So in that process, I have come into contact with women Panchayati Raj functionaries, their way of functioning, and what are the problems and challenges they are facing. So based on that, I have made this research paper and submitted for publication to one of the journals. Now, as far as my relating to the research relating to this presentation, I share the screen. So, to begin with, this I'm exclusively speaking on women Panchayati Raj functionaries. So I begin with women, and women being half of the world population, they are yet to receive the recognition, due recognition as part of development in the country and in the world as well. And women are being considered as secondary citizens in most of the developing countries, even to this day in the 21st century. And what I have observed is this gender inequality, and this gender inequality best described as inequality trap, and that is producing all kinds of inequalities in the society, as well as negative consequences for women and impediments for women's progress. And when coming to India, we can see that India is actually one of the fastest growing economies in the world, a knowledge superpower. But at the same time, there are large number of illiterate and less educated women in the country. India is ranked as 101 among 136 countries in the gender gap index. Now, within India itself, we can observe, of course, 2011 census, but then the literacy rate 82.14% is for men, as well as only 65.46% is for women. So, not that India do not have great leaders. India did produce great leaders, and there are many like examples like Rani Lakshmibai, Rudram Devi. They have fought for India's, they have participated in the freedom struggle, and then after independence also we can see great women political leaders like Indira Gandhi, Sushma Swaraj, Mrs. Jayalalitha. They all have impacted the women political, they all have impacted the political situation in the country. And then currently we can find Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, Smita Irani, and Mamata Banerjee, and all are these are all exceptional women, and they are making their impact at the national politics. But then what about the common Indian women and women in local level. This was actually my focus of study, and how far they are able to participate in the local governance. That's what I wanted to study, and I proceeded. And what I have observed is usually women are engaged in multiple roles. Usually, women are engaged in multiple roles of housekeeping, childbearing. At the same time, they are also supposed to earn a livelihood. And middle class as well as upper class women, for example, they are supposed to balance their family life as well as their career. And most of the time, they will have to sacrifice their career in for the sake of family responsibilities. Then women's status has not been the same throughout in the Indian history. We find that the status has been changing. Pre-independence, pre-Vedic period, we can find that women have equal status with men. We can, for example, the ancient seers like Gargi and Maitreyi, we can see. And the position of women started declining post-Vedic period, as mentioned in Mansmritis also. At the same time, Islamic invasion further deteriorated women's situation, and they are looked upon at a time came in wherein they are looked upon as property. And these foreign invaders also believed in capturing women, native women, and so that they can enjoy or establish their supremacy in the country. And native Indians, in order to protect their women, they practiced several inhuman activities. All of you know, sati, jawhar, child marriages, forced widowhood, and above all, economic dependency of women for lifetime continued from these days onwards. Modern India also, issues are not less. There are many issues and many problems for women, but at the same time, they are in a better situation when compared to ancient women. So we, even to this day, we find issues of female infanticide, malnutrition, maternal mortality, economic dependency of women, and many of the social issues, dowry system like this. Now, all these issues originate from one particular point, the patriarchal society. And then women in poverty. This is another case we can see, that those women who are in poverty are the worst sufferers in the country. They are squeezed off work, as well as they are not given sufficient money for their survival or their continuation. And they suffer from they suffer from a situation called triple burden, that I have noticed in most of the villages, wherein they have to earn a livelihood, they have to take care of the children, and they have to take care of their family. So it was like triple burden on their heads, and it was very difficult for them to cope up with. Then in this situation, we talk about the empowerment of women, particularly political empowerment. Political empowerment seems to be very far away from women. So to start with, we can see highest female participation in the parliament is in Germany, China, better they are, and then in USA also. But in countries, Asian countries, particularly Pakistan, Bangladesh, and India, the figures are less than 10%. And the reason is their socioeconomic status. It always prevents them from entering into politics or participating in the elections. Then this is the because of result of typical patriarchal society. Then the Britishers have encouraged universal adult suffrage during their provincial elections, but then women and men, they wanted only the rich men and women to participate in the elections. So that was the situation that time. After independence, government has been a strong supporter for women, include even the political rights. Article 326 indicates that women do have equal political rights along with men. Now, the committees the committees on rural development, Balwant Rai Mehta Committee, the Ashok Mehta Committee, these were the committees, the recommendations that were accepted by the government for the sake of reforming the structure of rural governance. And so the three-tier structure and of the governance came into existence from the Balwant Rai Mehta committee only. So that time itself, in 1957, he recommended that women should not remain as mere beneficiaries of development, but that they should participate, should become equal partners of development. And finally, the 73rd and 74th constitutional amendments that were made in 1993. Now, these guaranteed reservation, 33% of reservation for women at local governance, and this marked the entry of women in local panchayats. Because of this amendments, the number of women who are participating at the village level politics has drastically increased from that time onwards. And 1/3 of seats of reservation of women for both reserved as well as unreserved categories, that is multiple ways of reservation for women that is provided, is proving to be beneficial for them. Then its effect, you can see effect of legislations and how what is the development. 1993 means till now almost we are on the verge of completing 20 years. So you can see in these 20 years what the development is, that the rate of women participation, we can see that in 1962 it was 46.63%, it has risen to 58% during 1984. And afterwards the gender gap, that is male and female voters, it has reduced to 4.4% in 2009. And for the first time in 2019 elections, we can see that more number of women have come out for voting, and that women percentage has outnumbered that of men. Then women contesting for political positions. So here also we can find lot of improvement, wherein 9,75,000 women are elected to gram panchayats, and then in block panchayats and district level also similarly more number of women are being elected. And then currently the situation in 2019, out of 31 lakh panchayat functionaries, we can find that 13.75 lakh turned out to be women. The table relating to that only. So number of panchayat raj institutions in the country and the village panchayats in that, particularly block panchayats, the district, and then the elected members to the panchayat, out of 31 lakhs, it is 13.75 lakhs. Now, the current challenges of women in politics, I can say, in the local governance. Actually, the problem is they have been sitting at home and then studying or completing their education and then taking care of the house. And for this reason, there is no mobility, insufficient or lack of education, lack of awareness. And then these are the kinds of issues inhibiting women confidence. We find that elected women are moreover this problem of being used as proxies by their male householders. I have come to this notice of this situation several times in my field research till now. So I find that actually at one point of time I went to visit one of the panchayat sarpanch, and I was told to sit in the office, and the person came and he was just telling about the development in the village. Then just tell me the name, you're the sarpanch, right? I was questioning him. He said, no, it's not me, my mother is the sarpanch. So I'm here only to explain on behalf of her, I'm working on behalf of her. So these are the kind of experiences I have faced in the villages. And then women representatives often face this discrimination, and I really wonder whether they really come. There are certain women who are ignorant about what is the position of a sarpanch or a ward member that is given to her in the village. The reason for all these things is this, again, patriarchal society. Lot of importance is given to marriage. Marriage is something like divine for a girl. She has to get married, and then the gendered roles in the society, expectations out of her. So these are all preventing her from participating in active politics in the society. Then these are all some of the research studies. I can say literature review, many are there. I have included only one slide. Reason is that is one thing I can clearly infer is that participation of women in local politics is increasing, but then their active participation in the local governance is not increasing. Its effect is not found in the local governance. So I have placed an objective to find out the extent to which women political representatives are having active participation in the local governance. Then my hypothesis, as per my knowledge goes, I have put a hypothesis that local women representatives are not having any awareness. They are not active in participating their village government activities. Then I have chosen the area of study. I have chosen here for this research study, I've limited it to 8 villages of two blocks, that is two mandals, Nandigama and Moinabad mandals of Rangareddy district in Telangana. Now, this particular Rangareddy district I have chosen because it is, I can say that it is not entirely rural. It is semi-urban also. So I was expecting the awareness levels of women representatives to be little bit higher, so that I was having the positive intention that I can say my hypothesis is not proved. But then methodology used, based on this stratified random sampling only, these two mandals have been chosen, and I have taken care to see that every village will speak to the sarpanch and ward members, two ward members, men as well as women, from each village chosen for the study. Open-ended interview schedule I have taken it, so that the persons interviewed can answer taking their own time about the situation in the village and about their experiences. They will speak out freely, and from that I can interpret their perceptions also regarding the village governance. Then for the results I have tabulated like this. In these villages I have found that most of the villagers, most of the representatives belong to middle age group. 46% belong to middle age group, 36 to 50. And then their education standard also I have analyzed this way. See, intermediate, those who have passed the 12th standard are more in number here, almost 37.5%. But then you cannot ignore the illiteracy rate also. 29% are illiterate again among them. Then among all these village representatives, what I found is most of them are first time elected as village representatives. They don't have any previous experience, men as well as women. And this is my next analysis, wherein there is a particular program, Grama Sabha, that goes on in the village, and that is compulsorily to be held at least once in a month in a village, as far as the norm goes. So in some villages, it is conducted twice in a month. I'm sorry, once in 2 months, once in 3 months, in order to analyze, assess the village development activities like that. So during the corona period, they have reduced it once to 4 months also. But fine, when I in my research, what I found that most of them were able to answer that, okay, once in 2 months we are conducting it. And again, in that also I wanted to find the difference. How many men are able to answer and women are able to answer? Do the women representatives know that Grama Sabha is held, and are they a part of it? Found 91% men are able to say yes, they are conducting and they are participating. And then among the females, 33% not aware about it. Then the developmental activities in the village. So I just wanted to see what are the knowledge level, what is the level of awareness of women political representatives, and in their own villages, what development activities are going on. Being a political representative, whether sarpanch or ward member, they should be able to properly explain what all policies are being implemented, how much of money is coming into their village. If not money, at least what policies are being implemented, they should be aware. So to my surprise, I can say I noticed that 91% of men are able to explain, but then among women it is only 41%. This shows the awareness levels of women is less when compared to that of men. And to conclude my research, I can clearly say that women are not actively participating in the local politics. 73rd Amendment has increased women's participation in the village politics, but their level of participation is yet to be improved. And then their empowerment in true sense can come only when they are able to make their own decisions without anybody's influence. So in this context, my suggestions, like a lot of importance should be attached to female education. And now all my suggestions are related to village level only. I believe strongly that villages, if they are properly oriented towards development, we don't have to proceed further levels like district or cities level. They will automatically follow the path. So a lot of importance must be given to female education. And then these female Panchayat Raj functionaries who are newly elected, they should be given proper training before they take oath of office, and not that they are just given oath of office and whoever their family members rule the village. That should not be the case. They should also realize the importance of their position that is given to them. Then in the villages, there are several other local village community-based organizations like self-help groups, the village organizations. These village functionaries should have a close association with them. Those who are active in these groups, they will be active in the Panchayat Raj institutions as well as politics related to the village. Now, the local government, the non-local government organization also should continuously try to motivate the men as well as women that family is something like a mutual responsibility, and hence the burden of household work, instead of shouldering everything on women, they should share the household work, allow women some space to have some knowledge or increase some knowledge relating to to her profession also. Finally, since this male domination is stemming from the village level only, so continuous orientation should be given to the people at village level. And I know people above 40s or 50s may not listen, but then the younger generation, they should have some awareness. They will understand about the importance of women in the villages. Their mentality at least will change, is the hope for me. So these are the references. And as far as my research is concerned, it contributes like women participation at the local level has to increase. And why it is not increasing also, I have found out some of the reasons. So this will be helpful to the society. And so with this, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you.
Questions are invited from the panel members.
Madam Basantha.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for your good presentation.
Sir, thank you.
But
sir.
I would like to ask one thing.
Yes, sir.
So this is your research work related to a particular area.
Yes, sir.
So the findings, have you compared with the similar studies which are going on some other state or another, on the basis of the geographical variation, so that you can generalize your studies?
Sir, actually, I have started off with literature review, sir. In all the research studies from different parts of the country, I have analyzed. So in those also, the same kind of findings were there. But then I was expecting some different findings from a semi-urban area. Probably they will have more awareness like that. So it turned out to be a little bit disappointment for me, sir.
So do you think that geographical variations,
yes, sir,
affects such studies?
At least they have education standards to be better.
Okay, that's why I am asking this.
Yes, sir. So I was expecting it, but then even uneducated women are found to be very much inactive in local governance.
Very good. Because you have already mentioned that you are limited to the rural women.
Yes, sir.
Yes. This is a very good step. If
Yes.
they will be trained, then it will be very good.
Yes, sir.
Because as far as the urban areas are concerned, we are much developed compared to the rural women.
Yes,
so thank
sir.
you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, ma'am. This is Dr. Anand Babu from Civil Department.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
I am also South Indian.
Yes, sir. I heard about you, sir.
Yeah, basically, when we see the local or the village panchayat presidents, when the ladies quota is given, the people are electing and ladies are the Panchayat board presidents.
Yes,
But
sir.
only as we are the male-dominated society, the males only operating the all governance, and the ladies are just sitting.
Yes, sir.
And getting seat only, they are just elected, and husbands only ruling the parties.
Yes, sir.
So why is it so, and how can we bring change in that?
Sir, my whole research work is about this only, sir. It is that lack of awareness among the women and then the patriarchal society, major reasons. In fact, for a change to come, it will not come overnight, sir. It will take many years. 73rd Constitution Amendment has taken place somewhere around 20 years ago. Participation of women has increased. Now, their actual participation also has to increase based on training as well as continuous orientation. So we have come halfway through towards development, we can say. So we have to move on ahead only, not step back, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vasanta, have you identified the barriers? What are the barriers?
Sir,
2, 3, 4, yeah. Which is the strongest barrier?
barriers are like stemming from patriarchal society only, sir. Actually, I went to interview the female political representatives in one of the areas, 1 or 2 areas, I remember, sir. Her husband was refusing to he was not allowing me to meet her. The female political representative, she was a ward member. So no, she does not know anything. I am here, I will explain you tell me. This was continuously he was asking me and not allowing the female representative to meet also. This was one barrier I noticed. I was not able to convince them that I'm not going to ask them about details of their property or anything. I'm just asking basic questions relating to female representation, but then it went in vain for me. Yes, sir.
No, this is one social barrier.
Yes, sir.
That husbands do not allow them to come forward, so
Yes,
they
sir.
remain ignorant.
Yes, sir.
What are the other barriers that you have identified?
Other barriers, like there are barriers from my side, sir. I have to go to the villages, concerned villages, then some are very much interiors and geographical barrier, I can say. I don't find anything for traveling also, and I had to arrange arrange a vehicle, and for that it took some inconvenience for me, one thing. Another one is that these people, even the panchayat functionaries, they don't speak out openly unless and until they are assured that I'm coming from SERP Telangana, I'm coming from taking permission from SERP only I have gone, taking permission from the rural development institutions. And the concerned people who have to coordinate, they sometimes don't come. And then I had to introduce myself, stating that I belong to so and so and I want the information like that. So that kind of barrier is there, sir.
No, that's not a barrier. That is your problem as a researcher.
Yes,
But
sir.
as a Uttam
Sir?
Sharma, mic band rakho bhai. You see, the point is,
Sir.
as a researcher,
Yes.
what are the barriers that you have identified and they were not known earlier?
They were not known earlier is...
For example, husbands are not allowing them. It is not unknown. It is a well-known. Even without doing a research project today, we know it. It is there. But
Yes,
what are the other barriers that as a researcher can say, yes, they were not known to people, but through your work, you have been able to identify such barriers?
So what I have identified is this inactive participation of women, sir. I was not expecting so much of inactiveness. So I thought at least something they will be knowing about the local governance.
Women are inactive, and we need to understand why. That's why ICSR has given you this project.
Yes, sir.
Now the question is, what are the antecedents of that inactiveness? Why that inactiveness? You have yourself said, you said ignorance.
Ignorance, sir.
Then you are contradicting yourself. You are saying that even educated women are not participating. That
Sir,
means
ignorance is a part of, it's not that educated women are not ignorant. Here, ignorant is like socially they are ignorant. They don't move out in the society actively. And so for this reason, there is ignorance. Despite being educated, they are not aware of the socio-economic situations in their village. And so this is the kind of ignorance that I have seen in most of the educated women as well, sir. So I was not expecting up to this level, but then yes, it is there, sir.
so is there a kind of role conflict? Women find that there is a role conflict. If they go out and participate in local governance, there will be a conflict between the role that they have in the home and the role that they may have outside. Is that giving rise to any kind of conflict?
It's not about conflict, sir, that they don't start going out and then develop their knowledge or anything, sir. It's not about role conflict. I feel there is some neglection also among them. So they are not venturing outside. Some have family problems, so some have neglection, and some have they don't know how to go about. And those who went outside and those who are actively participating, they are also facing problems like from the their area local government officers themselves, they don't respond properly because they are women, and to take it easy that okay, we'll see dekhenge. This kind of situation also is there, that is discouraging them.
You see, to overcome such problems, government has reserved certain seats
Yes, sir.
for women.
Yes, sir.
So what is happening in that case?
So they are based on the 73rd amendment, based on the reservation only, most of the women are elected as representatives. But at the same time, their decision making power is not observed in them, sir. As far as my research goes, I've seen that there are women representatives, they are very much in power, but then decision making is not going on with them. Somebody else is doing it for them. They are not themselves making any decisions for village administration. So
Is it that they are not able to do it, or they are not allowed to do it?
the second category answer also I have found, sir. In the Moinabad village, when I went there, I was really surprised to see the woman ward member who was telling me, what are the developmental activities going on in your village? Please answer a few. She was saying, we are not allowed to know. This was the answer given to me.
This is the question. See, there is a difference between they are not able
Yes, sir.
and they are not allowed.
Allowed also, sir.
So
Yes.
see, like it happens it used to happen in entrepreneurship, women entrepreneurship.
Yes, sir.
The loan and all facilities were taken in the name of a woman,
Yes,
but then she would become inactive, and everything was done by the husband.
yes, sir.
So isn't it happen here in this case also?
Yeah, definitely it is happening, sir. Definitely.
Definitely it is.
Yes, sir.
They are proxy,
They are more like proxies. They are listen to their family members more.
they are on these posts for the namesake. They are proxied by men.
Yes, sir.
Now, what are the recommendations that you have made to overcome this?
Sir, the recommendations I have made is that, sir, first of all, women have to be properly educated, politically educated. They have to be oriented about the role, about the political representative, whatever, if she's a sarpanch or a ward member, what is her political role. Before taking oath of office, they have to be given thorough training for at least 1 or 2 months about their role in the village. They should be made aware about their positions, and then only it is possible for them to perform better. Otherwise, this ignorance will continue, and the proxy roles also will continue, sir.
But simply educating the women or making them aware, is that enough?
So at least some amount of improvement we can expect.
But
So
the
we
point
cannot
is,
force.
can they revolt in the family and say, no, now I have to come out of the house and I have to represent the society?
I don't think so, sir. Revolting situation will be there because they also like their family members to represent them.
No, the point is your assumption is that proxy is happening because of ignorance.
Yes, sir.
Therefore, if you are recommending educating women, is that enough? Who else should be educated?
So you mean to say even the men have to be educated along with
Exactly.
the
So
women?
that means community education is necessary.
Oh, yes, sir.
Not only women, that won't serve the purpose.
Yes, sir.
So community education is important. So why not even husband has to understand
Yes, sir.
the rights of women, the rights of an elected representative.
Representative, yes, sir.
So therefore, it is not just women to be educated. And you yourself said that there are some educated women, they are also not taking part.
Yes, sir.
Right. So that means there are certain constraints from
Yes,
the
sir.
family front. So we need to educate the family. So here particularly the husbands need to be educated. If husband would cooperate with the wife,
Yes, sir.
then other members of the family may also fall in line.
Yes, sir.
Husband is not cooperating and simply acting as a proxy representative.
Yes,
Then
sir.
things are happening as they are happening.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
it should not be only to educate the women, but also the family as a whole. The community education is necessary.
Yes, sir.
All people should know what are the rights, and if people are electing a woman representative, so she has certain rights, and others have to facilitate.
Yes, sir.
What are other barriers?
Sir.
What are the other barriers that you have identified? Do you see any role of criminals in the
The villages that I went, I did not find any role of criminals, sir.
there may be people who are dominating over all villages and dictating them what to do, what not to do, and who will be.
This kind of situation I did not find, sir, in our village. Actually, my research study is not just about the political women empowerment. It is related to the self-help groups as well. So I was dealing with both the categories. I did not find such kind of situation in my research area, sir.
So how far these self-help groups are effective?
Self-help groups are effective since they give some economic empowerment for women, sir. So they get some loans and the method to repay and a chance for them to start a new livelihood or at least invest in their husband's business and then grow economically. So that gives them some economic confidence. So most of the self-help group women, I have asked them, what is the kind of empowerment? Means is it beneficial economically or overall social, political, all kind of benefits are there? Most of the women answered economic benefits only. So they feel that it is economically helpful. That's it.
Yeah. So that means the main objective of these SHGs is to empower women economically.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that part is successful.
As actually it is not like empower women economically. Once they come out of their houses, they form into groups, they start some enterprise or anything like that. They have overall socio-economic empowerment, is there social, political, economic, all-round empowerment. We find this kind of empowerment in women of Karnataka and women of Kerala, where Kudumbashri is there. Lot of activities are going on and lot of stories about women empowerment we are have come to notice. So based on that only I framed this research study and I did it in my area. Telangana, I have not found so much of active empowerment, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now you can plan a further study based on what you have found.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Based on that, another proposal can be sent to ICSSR. After you submit it, then you can submit.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, any other question? Professor Guru Prasad wants to ask something.
Okay, I had one question in mind. What's the role of leadership quality in this woman? Because, if they want to take up a role like this, socioeconomic leadership and administration. They should have that ambition to be in that position, right? To play that role. Did you find anything about this?
There are some women, yes, as you said, they should be properly oriented towards this position, what it is all about. Without knowing anything, they are entering into politics. And then those who have the leadership role, those who are they have little bit of awareness about what is happening in the village, how much of policies, how many policies are there, how the money is being spent, and how it can be, how the village can be progressed. So very few women I find. Men are there, they explain what policies are coming, what policies are being implemented in their village, but like active leadership, I don't find there also, even in men.
Yeah, because you see, the leaders become because of the self motivation
Yes, sir. Yes.
that they want to play that role. I mean, you should have that
Yes.
quality in you that you want to play that role.
Yes, not everybody have so much of interest, sir. Even in men, very few are there. They have knowledge. That much I can agree.
No,
But
do you agree that maybe men have this quality more than the women?
they have knowledge, so they have a chance. More number of men are motivated to do something. They have a chance. So I have visited one of the villages wherein this Megaguda village. I find that there is a pharmaceutical company which has established near the village, and then people are suffering. It is because of the chemicals or something that are being dumped into the ground. The surrounding villages are getting polluted. So this person, the sarpanch of this village whom I met, a man only, he degree holder, he was telling me my main goal is to shut down this company at any cost. I will go at any extent. I will try to shut down this company. Tried so much, but nothing is happening. So big name is there for that company. It is not possible to shut down actually. So, but then people are suffering. He was showing me a newly appointed panchayat secretary. Just called him near me and said, "See, look at him. He was so healthy some 6 months ago. Now he's got down in weight. He's got down in his health. He's feeling very tired." He himself, the person also started telling me the same thing. So this kind of varied issues I could find in the villages, and men are able to in some situations because of the awareness, and also the situations drive them to fight.
Because you see, in these roles, they have to think of the overall development of the society, right?
Yes, sir.
If they want to take up this role, they should have an interest in the overall development of the society. Most of the women leaders I find is, the leaders whom we have
Yes,
in
sir.
some of the areas are only when it comes to women's rights, or they are kind of they want to take a leadership only in certain areas, but not in the overall development. Is that like that? Is it like that?
So I cannot generalize, sir. It is not the case. Generally, the situations force people to take up leadership role in those areas. So women's issues are more in number, then obviously there will be resistance and there will be revolt. But then there are many women who have taken up issues apart from women's interests also, sir. So I can't generalize that way.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Priya ma'am, you can propose the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to all of you. I, Priya Sarmul, co-coordinator Udhbhavana 2022. On behalf of our team, I take this privilege to propose a vote of thanks to all those who help us in making this session of Udhbhavana success. Thank you very much, Dr. Gauri ma'am, for deliberating such an interesting topic. I extend my sincere thanks to Vice Chancellor Sir, Dean ma'am, all HOI, HODs, Dr. Ashutosh Shukla sir, Head of Chemistry Department and Coordinator of Udhbhavana 2021-22, and Mrs. Anjali Gupta, Co-Coordinator of Udhbhavana. I am very thankful to the technical team of SVIIT for their continuous support in conducting the online events. I also offer my sincere thanks to all the attendees for being with us. Thank you everyone. The next Udhbhavana is on 16th of March. Once again, thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
We had thought that our Udhbhavana may be delayed. So that's why I had proposed that we can have meeting online only. But if you want to give me an opportunity to have a coffee, to have a cup of coffee with all of you can come here in boardroom. We will have face-to-face in-person meeting.
Sure, sir.
Sure.
We have 10 minutes. So all HOIs and HODs are requested to come to boardroom by 4 o'clock.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so the meeting will be offline?
It will be offline, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
All HOIs and HODs.
Okay, sir.
लिंक आया था इससे
So I can leave. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your system. Thank you, ma'am. I was a little bit tense in between, but it's okay. Thank you.
So query part is only important. Query part, the question answer round is only more. No, what is because he interested in the research? Yeah, I know. And answering Nurse's questions is